Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our home economics online class. So, dressmaking, we are now in Module 6. I am Miss Mayor and Fonte, your teacher for today. Okay, so our module is all about be skillful, be an entrepreneur, design a simple but elegant product. So, our most essential learning competency, prepare, cut, and sew a simple apron with patch packet. But before we proceed to our lesson this morning, let's recall or review our past lesson last week. So what are the types of hazard? What are the types of hazard? Okay, so the types of hazard are, we have the chemical hazard, electrical hazard, biological hazard, psychological hazard, radiation hazard, ergonomic hazard, and we have the physical hazard. So those are the different types of physical hazard in a workplace area. Okay, another one, direction. Identify what type of hazard does the following picture shows. Number one picture. What do you think? So this is an example of chemical hazard. Another picture, the stress, drug abuse, violence at work, interpersonal relationship, and others. This is what type of hazard? Yes, very good. That is psychological hazard. Next, number three picture, the wrong posture is an example of what hazard? So that is a ergonomic hazard. Okay, very good. Another picture, like viruses in the waste of the blood is an example of a, yes, very good, biological hazard. Then the last picture, that is what type of hazard? Okay, that is a physical hazard. Okay, expectation at the end of this module or presentation, you should be able to 1. Identify the pointers to consider in preparing, cutting, and sewing a simple apron with patch packet. 2. Prepare, cut, and sew a simple apron with patch packet properly. Number 3. Realize the importance of properly prepared and cut fabrics with accurate construction marks in making a project. Let's have a pretest first. So let us identify if what you have already know about our lesson this morning. So fill in the blank direction. Fill in the blank with the correct word or words to complete the statement. Okay, so number 1, a project plan is a blank in making a project. A project plan is a blank in making a project. So what do you think is the answer? Okay, very good. Guide. A project plan is a guide in making a project. Next, number 2. Pattern drafting is a process of creating a blank measurements from a person, form, or model. So what do you think is the answer in number 2? Let's see. Okay, so pattern. Pattern drafting is a process of creating a pattern, measurements from a person, form, or model. Next, number 3. Pattern pieces must be laid on the blank side of the material. Pattern pieces must be laid on the blank side of the material. So the answer is wrong side of the material. Next, number 4. Walk around the table when blank the fabric. Walk around the table and blank the fabric. So the answer is cutting the fabric. So walk around the table when cutting the fabric. Next, number 5. Material is stronger and stiffer if laid in a blank direction. What do you think? So the answer is lengthwise. So material is stronger and stiffer if laid in a lengthwise direction. Okay, are you now ready, class? Okay, so brief introduction. Sewing is an enjoyable and marketable skill. You will save money and at the same time earn from it. Able to use it or give it as a gift will give you happiness, sense of pride, and confidence. In making a project, a lot of preparation must be taken into consideration to achieve good results. These are project planning, pattern drafting, materials, preparation, and sewing method. For ease in cutting and sewing, plain cotton fabric is best suggested for a beginner because it is easy to handle and economical to use. Lesson 1.1 Project Planning. So when you hear the word project planning, what is it all about? Do you have any idea what is it all about? Project planning. Project plan. So when we say project plan, it is served as a guide in making a project. It plays an important role. It requires breaking down a larger project into tasks, assembling a project and determining a schedule over which the work is to be completed. During this phase, you create smaller goals within the larger project, making sure each is achievable within the time frame. So here are some example of a project plan. So project plan has a part. So here are the parts of a project plan. The first one is the name of the project. So when we say name of the project, this is an overview or the title itself of what the project is it all about. Like for example, making a pillowcase. So making pillowcase is the title or the name of your project. The second part of the project plan is the objectives. When we say objectives, these state the goal of your project. So example of objectives in making a pillowcase is to draft the pattern correctly. Second, to cut the material accurately. And then number three, to sew a beautiful pillowcase. So those are the objectives in making a pillowcase. Number three parts of the project plan is the sketch or the drawings. So when we say sketch, drawing, or illustration, so this part illustrates the raw materials and finished product. Like for example, this one, the drawing of a pillowcase. The next part of the project plan is we have the materials needed. So this is the list of materials and tools that needed so that you can finish your project. Like for example, we have the quantity, the materials, the unit price, and the total cost. So the materials that we are going to use in making a pillowcase is we have the chest cloth, the manila paper, and the thread. And then the quantity, so 1/4 yard of the chest cloth, 1/4 piece of manila paper, and 1 spool of thread. Of course, we need also the unit price and the total cost. So to get the total cost of the materials, we need to add 15 plus 150 plus 250 equals 19 pesos. Ibig sabihin, 19 pesos ang inyo pong magagasto sa paggawa ng inyong pillowcase. Next, part of the project plan is the procedure. So procedure, this explains the steps in doing your project or the step-by-step procedure in making the project. Like for example, we also have the date begun, date finished. So number one procedure, drafting a pattern, laying out and pinning a pattern, and the third one, cutting the fabric, and the fourth procedure or the step is transferring of marks. And then the sixth part of the project plan is we have the evaluation. So this uses the scorecard to evaluate the project. So evaluation, so this is also the criteria and ways on how to assess the performance in making a project. Next, lesson 1.2. It's all about drafting a pattern for simple apron. Okay, pattern drafting. So when we say pattern drafting, it is a process of creating a pattern by taking measurement from person, form, or model. So here are the steps in drafting the pattern for a simple apron. Let's see. So 1 to 2, measure 5 inches. So start from here in number 1, so 5 inches. So this is number 2. Second, 2 to 3, measure 4 inches. So starting from 2 down, so measure 4 inches and then you will get the number 3. So 3 to 4, measure 5 and 1/2 inches. So 5 and 1/2 inches. So starting here, so this will be your number 3 and then number 4. Then 4 to 5, starting here in number 4, down to 5 is 1 and 1/2 inches. So starting here, the number 5, to get the number 5, measure 1 and 1/2 inches. Next, 5 to 6. So starting here in number 5 to 6, so measure 6 inches. And then 1 to 7, measure 9 and 1/2 inches. So starting here in number 1, you need to measure 9 and 1/2 inches to get the number 7. So that is number 7. Then 7 to 8, measure 10 inches. So starting here in number 7, up to here in number 8 is 10 inches. And then 1 to 9, so 1 starting from 1 to 9 is 27 inches. So then the same measurement, 7 to 8 and 9 to 10, so that is steps in drafting the pattern for a simple apron. Again, the steps in drafting a pattern for a simple apron. The first step is measure 5 inches from starting from 1 to 2. So you need to make a line first. So that is number 1. So 2, 5 inches to get the number 2. That is. Then 4 inches down. And then 3 to 4, 5 and 1/2 inches. So that is number 3. And then that is number 4. Then 4 to 5, so 1 and 1/2, so that is your number 5. Then 5 to 6, to get the number 6 you need to measure 6 inches, so that is number 6. Then number 6. Then after that, 1 to 7, so starting from 1, you need to measure 9 and 1/2 inches to get the number 7. So that is number 7. And then 7 to 8, measure 10 inches. So starting from 7, you need to measure 10 inches to get the number 8. So that is a number 8. Next, 1 to 9. So starting from 1, to get the 9, you need to measure 27 inches. So that is number 9. And then you need to measure 9 to 10. So you follow the measure of 7 to 8. So that is number 10 and then down. So that is the next step is connect 2, 3, 6, and 8 using what? Yes, French curve. So that is okay. So that is a connected line. So 2, 3, 6, and 8 using the French curve. So connect 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to 10, 8 and 10 with the use of the ruler. Okay, for your activity, you will draft the pattern for simple apron. So procedure, you will prepare the needed materials like pattern paper, pencil, ruler, tape measure, and then the scissor. Second, draft the pattern. Refer to the given steps. And number 3, answer the self-assessment checklist. So that this is our the criteria for your activity. So did you prepare the needed tools in drafting pattern? Yes or no? Did you draft all the steps correctly? Yes or no? Did you use ruler in connecting lines? Did you use French curve or dotted lines for connecting curved areas? And did you cut the drafted pattern following the exact lines? Next, lesson 1.3, preparation of the materials. So here are the steps in laying out, pinning pattern, and cutting the materials. First, lay out the large pattern pieces, then fit the small ones on fabric. Second, pin the pattern properly so that fabric will not slip during cutting. Number 3, keep the fabric flat on the table while cutting. Number 4, place one hand on the material opposite to the shears. Number 5, walk around the table while cutting without pulling the fabric out of place. Number 6, use long firm strokes to cut straight edges and short strokes for curved edges. And then number 7, do not remove the pins. These are needed in transferring construction marks. Lesson 1.4, sewing a simple apron. Okay, so we have here an apron. So what do you think is the uses of this apron? Do you have any idea what is apron? It says here that apron is often used for hygienic reasons. It protects our clothes from stains or damages. It gives the idea that we care about cleanliness, whether in handling food products or rendering services. In this project, you will learn to make an apron that suits your style and budget without having someone else do it for you. This project will show a quick step-by-step procedure in making your own apron at home. So here are the steps in sewing simple apron. The first step is prepare the decorative facing and tie. Second, knitted tie, facing and pocket. Next, locate the place for the tie in the wrong side of the fabric. Neck part, pin, baste. Number 4, sew facing on neck part on the wrong side of the fabric. Number 5, cut the excess allowances. The number 6, sew facing on the armhole following the marking line. Number 7, trim the allowances on the armhole. Number 8, clip the allowances on the armhole. And the number 9, invert the neck and armhole facing. Number 10, pin base the inverted facing to the right side of the fabric. Next, step number 11, insert the tie on the waist part. Number 12, top the stitch, decorative facing. Top stitch the decorative facing. Number 13, sew the sides and hemlines. And the number 14, hand baste the pocket to fabric. Okay, next, number 15, sew the packet to the fabric. And then number 16, you have now your own finished apron or product. So don't forget, properly drafted pattern will help in achieving good result in sewing the project. So before sewing the material, make sure that all construction marks are properly transferred to fabric for the easy construction of the project. Then you need to follow the steps correctly to ensure good results. Okay, that's it for Module 6. I hope you learned something. Thank you and God bless everyone. Keep safe.